When you first open iMovie, these are the options that you'll see if you've never used it before. You want to choose the bottom one that just says Movie. There we go. And it'll straight away bring up essentially your camera roll where you can select the footage that you want to import in. So I'm just going to tap those top 4. And then you just click right down the bottom or tap, it says Create Movie. You want to tap on that. And then it automatically adds all of the footage into your timeline. So that strip at the bottom is your timeline. I'm just tapping and holding on that and swiping left to right to sort of scroll through my timeline. If you want to change the order, obviously, which you probably will, you just tap and hold on a clip like that and it pops it up. And then you can just move it along, drag it along, and then let go to wherever you want it to be. And then you can see now. There, it's now placed in the timeline. There we go. Beautiful. So you can see there it's automatically added what's called a cross dissolve transition between all of the clips. If you don't want that, you just tap on it and it brings up those options at the bottom. And you can either change it to a different transition or you can just tap over on the one on the left that says none, and that will essentially get rid of it altogether. Now you can see it just cuts automatically from one shot to the next without any sort of transition. Now you can see here that it's not a very attractive noise, that I've just got sort of wind noise in this footage there, so you might not want to keep that. So if you just tap on it, you've got these options down the bottom here. Normally it'll come up just like that. You tap on that sort of little speaker icon in the middle and that brings up your volume options. And you just tap and hold and drag it right down to the left, and that now mutes that clip. That clip's now completely silent. The other thing you might want to do is trim it. So you can see there, if you tap on it, it brings up, it surrounds the clip with yellow. When it's got the thick bits on the left and the right end, you just tap and hold on that and drag it in, and that will shorten the clip either from the start or from the end. So that's really good. Obviously, if you've got bits at the start of your clip when you're recording and you say things like action or things like that, you're going to want to cut those out so it adds to the quality of your film. You'll also likely want to add music. You just tap on the plus sign and that will bring up all these options. We want to tap on the one that says audio in the middle and that brings up these options. We don't want to use My Music because that'll go into sort of your Apple Music playlists and stuff and you're not really allowed to use those. So we want to click on soundtracks. So a lot of these are grayed out because it doesn't automatically download these to your phone because it would actually take up a lot of storage. So some of them are already there. If you want all the grayed out ones, you can just tap on it and it'll download it to your phone and you can give it a listen. You can delete it later if you want to. They are categorized, all these songs, into different sort of categories, as you would expect. So one says chill, one says retro, this one says action, this one says holiday and events, etc. So we can go back up to any one. I'm going to go to action and I'm going to tap on 3 Extreme, give it a listen. So if I decide I want that, I'll just tap on the plus sign to the right of it and it adds that to my timeline. There it is. I click on play. So you see what it's done there is it's played at full volume and then when it gets to the second clip, it fades down. The reason it does that is you can have 2 types of clip. You can have a foreground clip and a background clip. So if you tap on the audio, it'll bring up those options there. And you can see at the bottom, you've got that foreground option. If you tap on foreground, currently by default, it's set to background. If I tap on foreground, it will now play at full volume over all of the clips. There you go. If I set that back to background, you can see now it's blue that it's a foreground shot or foreground music track. If I tap on that again on the audio track and change it back to background, it will then go back to playing at full volume over a clip like that first one that doesn't have any sound, but then fading down the volume so that the second clip does have sound. You can see that's still going. So click on background, changes it back to green, there we go. And then that'll fade it down over the second clip because that second clip has sound. So it assumes you want to hear it. So that's a really handy thing if you've got a bit of music playing, but you've also got some dialogue and some other clips and things like that. And you can trim it just like, you don't have to have music playing through the whole film, so you can trim it just like we have these other video clips as well. All right, so for this, if you tap on the clip, it brings up these options at the bottom, and you can click on the T there and brings up your various text options. So I've clicked on split there. You can tap and hold on the text and drag it around your screen, and then you just tap on edit when you want to make a change to it. That'll bring up your keyboard. You type in whatever you want, and then just tap on the done button on your keyboard. Here we go. So we'll just scroll back so we can see it. And there it is. So it only turns up for a few seconds, you can see. If you do want to edit it, or you want to have that text appear over the whole clip, you just tap on those three dots, and it brings up this option. And then that bottom one, it says full clip duration. You just tap on that so it's selected, click on the, or tap on the X to close that window, and now that text will play for the whole clip. Okay. So one of the other things you might want to add is sound effects. So if you click on the plus again in the top left, that'll bring up this menu that you saw before. It'll automatically take you to the soundtrack section because that's where we were the last time. So you just tap on audio up the top to go back, and then you'll be able to see those options, and the bottom one is sound effects. All of these options here, you can just tap on them and it'll play a sound effect. You can add that in and drag it around to wherever you need it to be in your timeline. What you'll also want to do is add closing credits, which we talked about before. So you can't really add text over nothing, so you need to add a background first. So you just click on plus again, which brings up this window, this like we saw before, but this time instead of clicking on audio, we click on the one or tap on the one above it that says backgrounds. You've got a whole range of ones you can choose from here. I'm going to choose just the straight black one that's up the top in the solid section. Click on the plus, there we go, and that just adds that black background. And now that then treats that black background like a clip. So just like we did with the other footage before, we can now just tap on it and then add text to it. So I'm just going to choose the standard one and then click on edit again. I've already typed in starring, so I'm going to say it's starring me. And then that bottom one where it says title text here I don't actually want, so I'm just going to click on that and do edit, that one, and then just delete it. I just don't want it. Okay, and then again tap on done. Now, so you don't have to keep doing that again, because you're going to obviously want to have more names and more things. You're going to have starring, but you're also going to have written, directed by, you're going to have things like that, special thanks or whatever. You can just tap on it and you can see down the bottom right, there's an option that says duplicate. So if we tap on that now, it creates a copy of that clip. We can now edit that clip and make changes to it without it affecting the one that we've done previously. It'll have all the settings, etc., but we don't have to keep redoing it. We can just duplicate. And then we can do that as many times as we want, and then you've got some nice, effective closing credits. You might want to do the same at the start as well. You can either add a black screen at the start like we've done for the end and have a little title card at the start, or you might want to just put text over, have some nice establishing shots, like I've got some nice sort of pan shots of trees and environment. And so you might have some nice shots at the start where you can put the name of your film and say written by or starring and things like that. So I'm going to do that here over this opening clip. Again, I'm just going to tap and hold, and I'll type it first. We'll give it a name. There we go. And then go done, tap on done, and then move it down so it can be seen better over the green background. And then I'm going to go to the bit where I typed in meanwhile before, and I'm just going to change that. And have that as my second sort of title sequence, or second title element, credits, whatever, going over the start of the film. And there we go. That's our whole film. Done just like that. So then just click on or tap on done up the top. That'll take you to your main menu. You can now just tap on where it says my movie and give it a name for your film. Tap on done again. And then you're pretty much ready. Then all you need to do is tap on that upload or share button in the bottom middle, and that'll bring up the option to save it to your camera roll. And that's it. Then you're done.